Okay, girls, we're going to lesson 6 on worded problems. So, this is the last um, subtopic in this unit, and it's an important one because it sums up all the skills that we have been learning so far. So, if you go into your notes in your booklet, I think this is page 6. Let's check. Um, 7. Page 7 of your notes. So if I click there, is this one? Good. So worded questions. There are 4 things that you have to do always when you are working on problem solving with algebra, okay? These 4 steps are extremely important, and when we assess this in your test, we always give a mark for each one of these steps. A lot of people, and this was one of the biggest difficulties last year, they just went into answering the question right away without following the steps. So let's get into those steps and make sure that you're taking notes of these steps so that you know what you have to work through. So the first step is define the pronumeral. So I'm going to actually write it down and I want you to do the same. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to define the pronumeral. And we're going to do examples later on to explain what we mean by that. So define the pronumeral. Okay, step 2. We're going to write an equation to solve the problem. We're going to write an equation. Third step, we're going to solve that equation. Oops. We're going to solve that equation. And then the last step is that we're going to state our answer in a full sentence. And to do this, we're going to reread the question because that's what is going to give us the keywords that we have to use in our answer. So we have to answer in full sentence. So we're going to see how we do that with the questions that we have. For example, these 4 steps are also in your notes. If you see here, define the pronumeral. For example, state what the pronumeral represents. Then write the equation. Solve the equation by using opposite operations on both sides. And then reread the question and clearly state your answer. Okay, let's do example 1. So we're going to do examples. Oh, that's another example that I have there. I'm going to leave it for later. So example 1. So example 1 says, 3 is added to 2 times a certain number, and the result is 17. What is the number? So a lot of girls start working on their equation right away and then get to the answer. What is the first step? What do I have to do? Define the pronumerals. So to do that, what we do is the following. We always use this sentence. Let x, I'm going to use x. Let x be the unknown number. That's what we're looking for. So that's the first step. That's the first thing that we have to do. So it says here, 3 is added to 2 times a certain number. So that you could have said, let x be that certain number. So much more clear to say the unknown number. But what is the number? So here are the important. I'm going to highlight this. What is the number? Certain number. So that's what x is. Okay. Now, that's the first step. I'm going to put a small one. You don't have to put those numbers in your test as long as you follow the steps. Then what is the second step? I'm just putting it here because I'm teaching you, so I'm modeling you what is happening. The second step is to write the equation. How do we write the equation? It says 3 is added to 2 times a certain number. So we have to think about it says that 3 is added to something that is already happening to that number. That number is being multiplied by 2. So I'm going to say 2x, because 3 is being added to that is already happening. So I'm going to add 3 to this. Good. And then it's saying that the result is 17. Is equal to 17. So there I have step 2. Then I'm going to solve it. So you can see here is step 3, very close to it. So remember that we use same operation. So first we have to define what is happening to the x here. Okay, so I can say what is happening to the x. I'm going to do it here. What is happening to the x? You don't have to write all this. As I said, I'm teaching it. That's what I'm doing it. You don't have to do it all, but if it's just to make it more clear. What is happening to x? So I'm going to do a line here. What is happening to x? The first thing that is happening to x is that it's being multiplied by 2. So it's being multiplied by 2. And then we adding 13. Okay, agree that I'm using here BIDMAS, multiplication first and then addition. And then to solve it, I have to undo it on the opposite direction. So what do I have to do first? Opposite direction of adding 3, I have to subtract by 3, and then I have to divide by 2. So let's do that. First step, I have it here, subtract by 3 on both sides. So take away 3, take away 3, take away 3, and I get that this is 2x equals 14. Notice that I'm leaving the equal sign aligned and I'm working downwards. Agree? So I've done this one. Then I'm going to do the second step, divided by 2. So I take and I'm going to divide by 2 both sides. And when I do that, I cancel this one and I cancel this one. And then I get that x is equal to 7. So this is my answer, but I haven't finished. What is step 4? Answer in full sentence. So that's what I'm going to do here. That is step 4. And to do that, I reread the question. So it says the question is, what is the number? So we have to use it. What are the keywords? What is the number? So we have to say the number is 7. Okay, I'll continue in the next video. And this is my final answer. Okay, and I have followed all the steps. Wonderful. Let's do the next one in the next video.